my name is Rachel, and sometimes I like to cook. And as you guys may know, I just got this Ninja Foodie on a Black Friday deal, and I did a making pot pie video with you guys. And also, I didn't film it, and I really wish I did, but my parents had given me a jar of homemade sauerkraut, and I actually made incredible sauerkraut and kielbasa in here as well. If I get another jar of sauerkraut from them, I'm definitely going to bring you guys along on that with me too. But today, what I wanted to do was do an herb roasted chicken for the first time. Now, I'm 47 years old, and I can only remember ever roasting an entire chicken once in my life. And it was before Google, because I remember having to call my parents like every 20 minutes, asking them what to do next. So this is going to be a fun little adventure to see how the Ninja Foodie roasts a whole chicken. So let's get started on this. First, we have to make the liquid that's going to go in the bottom, because it does get pressure cooked. So in a small bowl, we are mixing 1/4 cup of lemon juice, 1/4 cup of honey, and 1/4 cup of hot water, which I'm going to put in the honey cup to melt the honey that's stuck to the sides. And I can also use this to scoop any excess honey out. And 2 tablespoons of salt. Now, I'm actually using this salt grinder that also has some herbs in it, but I think a few extra herbs isn't going to hurt anything. This is, and I didn't exactly measure, but this is roughly 2 tablespoons. I'm going to whisk all that together. And then we pour all of that into the bottom of our pot. And then we're going to need 1 tablespoon of whole black peppercorns. And fortunately, I was able to figure out how to get the lid off of my peppercorn grinder, or else I wouldn't have whole black peppercorns. But now I do. Now, I'm also supposed to have fresh thyme, but as usual, I don't have fresh herbs. So I'm just going to do a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, which has thyme in it and a bunch of other stuff. And then we have 5 crushed cloves of garlic. Next we take this is the crisp and air fry lid, or plate. And we're going to put that down in the bottom there. And then we add the whole chicken. Now I'm hoping my chicken will fit. It said 4 to 5 pound chicken. The smallest chicken I could find was 5.5 pounds. So it's a little bit bigger. And also the directions say, of course, make sure you take out the giblets, which this one didn't appear to have any. I looked for them. And also to rinse it. But I've read a lot of articles that say don't rinse your chickens, because it'll spray water droplets filled with bacteria all over your kitchen and put you at higher risk of food poisoning. So don't rinse your chicken. So I didn't rinse it. Now I'm also supposed to tie the legs back with some kitchen baking twine, which is something else I don't have. So the legs aren't going to be tied. We'll just have to hope for the best on that. I hate touching raw chicken. Ugh. It does fit, so that's good. Let me go wash my hands real quick. Okay, so next we are putting on the pressure cooker lid, which has the gasket in there. And you match up the 2 little arrows and just twist. And make sure the little valve all the way in the back, I don't know if you remember that valve, but we want to make sure that this valve is set to the seal side, not the vent side. Then we're going to set pressure. Oh, forgot to turn it on. Turning it on helps. Okay, so I have it pressure on high. And it says 22 minutes, but since this is a 1/2 pound more than what they called for. I'm actually going to go for 5 extra minutes maybe. We'll go 1 more minute. We're going to do it for 28 minutes. Now this will actually take closer to 38 minutes because it does take 10 minutes for the pressure to build. So we're just going to start the pressure cook cycle, and I'll see you guys once this cycle is done. So I'm back. I had run into a little bit of an issue. Apparently the amount of liquids that was in that recipe wasn't enough. So after it had tried to preheat for like, I don't know, 10 or so minutes, it started flashing add water. So I had to turn it off, open it up, and I had a open carton of chicken stock in the fridge. So I just added or chicken broth. I just added a cup of chicken broth to it. So if you want to follow, if you do want to make this and you want to follow that recipe, I would double all the liquids. So anyway, the pressure cook cycle has finished. Hopefully I gave it enough time. Like I said, it did have that extra poundage to it than what they called for. I've also now let it naturally release steam for 5 minutes, and now I have to move this over to vent to release the rest of the steam. And I'll do that until our little gauge drops down, and I'll bring you back after that. So our little gauge back here did just drop back down, and that took probably about 3 minutes, so it's time to open it up. Remember, always open away from yourself so you don't get splashed. So you can see in here, I'm guessing that the reason that you would want to tie those legs together is so it didn't split apart like you see I have here. Probably would have been better if they were tied together, would all be together. But that's not a big deal to me. After all, I'm the only one who's going to be eating this. And our next step is take canola oil, and I guess it calls for canola oil rather than say olive oil because I believe canola oil can withstand higher temperatures. Like some oils like olive oil and I think avocado oil break down at lower temperatures. And then you're just going to brush it all over the chicken. So I'm just going to dump some on here. Be very careful. Don't want to dump the whole bottle on here. And then just brush that all over the chicken. That skin is just like super soft and falling right off. It looks like the legs are ready to fall right off. So hopefully I did give it enough time for the extra poundage. But next we're going to be crisping it up. And then it calls to just season it with pepper. So I got my pepper grinder. And salt. And again, I'm using my herbed salt. I think a little extra herbs matter. I think it's really strange that they called this the herb roasted chicken when the only herb they call for is thyme. So for our next step, we're going to close the crisping lid, and we're going to choose air crisp. We're going to put it on 400 degrees, and it says 8 minutes, and you can add an additional 10 minutes. So I'm just going to immediately go to the full 18 minutes because, like I said, this is a larger chicken. So I just want to make sure we do get it cooked all the way through. And then we're just going to start. And I will bring you guys back once the 18 minutes have passed. Alright, so we've reached the end of the 18 minutes air crisp frying cycle. Let's see how it looks. Looks quite crispy. Oh yeah, it's got a nice crisp on that top skin, definitely. So now we're just going to let it rest for another 10 minutes and then we'll get it on a plate and try it out. So I'll be back in just a second. So the next step's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I've got to get it out of the pot and onto my plate. And it said to use like 2 serving forks, which I don't have. I have like this one plastic serving fork, which I have no idea will be strong enough. It might just snap. And then I have this huge wooden spoon. So we're going to see if we can get it from here to here. Wish me luck. I think if I'd had that string to tie these legs together, it would have made this whole process a lot easier. Because the string, of course, would have kept those legs together and it wouldn't have been splitting like this. But that's a good sign that it's split like this. I think that means that it is cooked all the way through. And now I'm just going to cut into it. Looks moist. Ah, too much skin. And I'm just going to try a little piece. I think it came out really good. What I really need to do is find a recipe for Peruvian rotisserie chicken, because those spices are like my favorite, rotisserie type chicken thing ever. But this is still pretty good with the lemon and the honey. It's very subtle. The lemon, honey, and garlic mixture at the beginning. And then the salt and pepper on top. So yeah, I think this is really good. Again, my one suggestion is double your liquids, because there wasn't enough liquid in there initially. And because my chicken was bigger, the adding of the thyme, I think, worked beautifully. I've got a little bit of charred bits over here, but those are bits that I probably wouldn't be eating anyway. The Ninja Foodie is great for also roasting a whole chicken. And like I said, this was 5.5 pounds, even though it just said anywhere from 4.5 to 5 pound chicken. It took a 5.5 pound chicken, so yay. So thank you so much for joining me for my very first time roasting a chicken in my Ninja Foodie. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give me a thumbs down, but please leave constructive criticism in the comments below so that I can improve. And please subscribe to the channel if you wanted this recipe. But it's just the recipe from the Ninja Foodie book, so you could probably find it just about anywhere online. Just search for herb roasted chicken Ninja Foodie, and I'm sure it's easy to find online. And I hope everyone is staying happy, healthy, and safe in this incredibly crazy world we're living in. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye!